The Shred Shed Podcast.
Yo, what up? This is Earl Shreds, boy.
And Sydney Shreds.
Ooh.
And this is your #1 podcast.
For all things rock and roll, music, or just plain awesome. Y'all don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you got, at Earl Shreds. And don't forget to check out the website, www.earlshreds.com. Thanks. Everyone, before we get to this video, please be sure to check out the Patreon and earlshreds.com. You can help support me at Patreon for as little as $2 a month. It helps me to continue to make these videos, continue to make these podcasts, and most importantly, helps me fund the live shows. If you haven't checked out a live show, please go to earlshreds.com and check out my schedule to see where I'm playing live. And if you want to see me play somewhere, please shoot me an email at dalton@earlshreds.com or a DM on any social media platforms and let me know where you want to see me play. Again, I thank you all for my support. You can follow me and subscribe to me on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. I wish I said I had a millionaire baby daddy backer who is helping me, but alas, it is just lonely old me. I do this for a living. So again, if you could check out the Patreon and be a Super Shredder subscriber, that would be awesome, and it helps me to continue making this awesome content. And also, again, check out earlshreds.com for the live schedule, and also earlshreds.com for the awesome Earl Shreds merch that you can get customized and made to order, sent directly to your house. Love you guys so much. Thank you always for the support. Enjoy the video. Oh my gosh. T.
So we start podcast on.
Yeah, he's our podcast on. So,
Did you tell her the story about the dog I thought you had?
Uh-oh. The one that's on the screen?
Yeah.
he thought
Because it's a little terrier, a Boston Terrier. It looks like a Boston Terrier.
Yeah, he thought the dog that's in, our little live stream.
Yeah.
He thought that was ours.
Aw.
He's like, that looks like a Earl Shreds dog, and then he saw this disgusting
Yeah, he actually has a rat now.
abomination.
Did you see my rat in there? Little brown sewer rat I have.
It's a bigger rat.
It's a bigger rat. She's like a Nutra rat.
She looks like a Nutra
She
rat.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're good to go.
She looks like a little
This
Boudin.
camera is not on. Does that matter? The screen?
No, it's recorded. You see that red light?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. As long as that red light's blinking, it's recording.
Blinking?
So if it stops, then I have my lawyer on retainer. GoPro, I'm coming for you.
Didn't you have to send one back?
I did, and it really, actually, the customer service at GoPro was pretty top notch, honestly.
That's nice.
Can you hear yourself well?
I can,
You
yeah.
could have wiped off the
Can you hear me all right?
Absolutely, yeah. You sound like a professional. I don't
Hey.
even. He's a trained expert on the microphone.
Oh, yeah?
An expert.
Yeah, you said you have a radio show?
I do have a radio show. Yes, ma'am.
So the one and only Zakk United.
Hey.
Wish I had a soundboard. I go ding 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 ding. I'll post that in a minute. But yeah, you want to shout it out?
Yeah, so I do Monday through Friday on K-Star Country. We play country music on a country radio station in Montgomery, Texas, 99.7, the K-Star app. It's free.
Nice.
Yeah, you like country music?
I like older country music.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I play a little bit of that every once in a while.
Sweet.
I played some Vern Gosselin today.
Nice.
Vern
I don't know,
Gosselin.
Vern.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a fan of like today's country. If you consider it country, I guess.
Yeah.
What's considered today's country is not my favorite.
Right.
So
Yeah, I definitely prefer Texas music over like Nashville country, I like artists from Texas and Arkansas and some guys from Kentucky, but mostly that Texas stuff is what I mess with.
Who's a Kentucky artist?
Like Tyler Childers, Ward Davis. No, Ward's from Arkansas. But Tyler Childers is one that I like. There's another guy named Tyler Booth that I like. There's a few.
Oh, I know him. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know him.
See,
Which
I
one?
never known that.
Tyler Booth. I don't know him. I don't know him at all in real life, but I know of him. And the way I said it, it made it seem like
I know him.
He lives right down the road from me. But I've heard his name. I think we might have seen him live one time or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've yet to see him live, man, but I'd like to.
You said it's 99.5?
99.7. 99.7, yeah.
My brother used to DJ on 90.5, The Cat.
Where's that at?
It was the same Houston radio station.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
It was DJ Sunshine.
That was his name?
Yeah.
DJ Sunshine?
He had long blonde hair.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was it the 90s?
No, it was like 10 years ago.
I had a weird, not that that's weird, but I had a different name at one point when I was on the radio when I was in college.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
So stupid.
I heard some dumb one.
It was Uncle Fester. You remember from that?
Yes.
Yeah. Disappointing.
I don't know. What is it from?
The
Yeah, from the Addams Family.
Yeah. Addams Family.
Which one was he?
The bald guy, the fat bald guy. The pale, fat bald guy.
How did you deem that name?
He was like a goth, pale, fat, bald guy. Because I was also a...
But did you choose it or did it get chosen?
I think, man, I really can't remember. I don't know. I don't know if somebody else gave me that name or not. It was when I was in college, it was like a college radio station, and I don't know, but I rocked it and I went with it the whole time I was in college.
Nice.
So would you be like DJ?
He's just Uncle Fester.
Yeah, it was the Fester show. Yeah,
I like
but
that.
But also kind of like had a double meaning, like being a pain in the ass. You fester.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Was that you?
Yeah, I got kicked out of college
Hell yeah.
for a radio stunt that I did.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the
Can you
stunt?
tell us about it?
Sure, I can tell you.
Okay, I
about
wanna
it.
hear
This
about
was
it.
a long time
Probably
ago.
on the news.
So this was in Kansas, and it's so stupid too. Like this was like 20 years ago, and I did a thing called puking for pizza, and I basically made people vomit over a telephone call that I put on the air to win pizza. And it was, and I was giving it away to like a local pizza place. It was a super small town in Kansas. There was like 3,000 people. It's a real rural community. And I'm like 18 and I don't respect anybody or anything. And I think I'm like Howard Stern, right? And,
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I was giving away pizza to this local place. It was a family-owned business, and they were not happy about it. And they knew somebody at the college that I was going to. And, like the next Monday or Tuesday or something after that happened, I was asked politely to leave. And I did, and,
Aw. That's hilarious.
for making people eat pizza?
No, for making them puke on air.
Yeah, that was the problem.
And how did you make them puke?
Well, I didn't make them puke, and honestly, I don't know if they actually did. It could have all been theater of the mind, right?
So you didn't feed
It was like
them.
I didn't
call.
feed them.
No, you call in and
This is 20 years ago. We were on the phone, okay? Before,
Yeah.
the
dial-up
landline.
era.
But you weren't like
The landline.
you weren't like feeding them pizza to throw up.
no, they
No,
want a
pizza
pizza.
was the prize.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would have done it.
Yeah,
Who doesn't want a free pizza when you're in college?
Why would you get kicked out? That's so. I guess it was 20 years ago.
it was 20 years ago. It was rural Kansas, and
Yeah, that
know.
was like.
Yeah, I've been to Kansas.
it was a big deal at the time. But yeah, Kansas sucked. Man.
Yeah, it sucks.
I would never go back there. It was
Why?
wild though when I lived there, man. Cool story. You'll appreciate this as a shredder. When I went to school there, it was in Colby, Kansas. I went to school there because they had a radio station, and I wanted to do radio. They had a real radio station, and I got there, and I was taking a film and a TV class. And did I tell you this when we were over at Borski's?
If you did, I don't remember it.
So I lived in a trailer park, right? And my neighbor 2 doors down from me in the trailer 2 doors away from mine was also in my film class. And I noticed him one day in my class, and then I started looking at his tattoos, and he had a Dente Primo tattoo, which is the Pantera click.
Yeah.
It's like the Black Tooth Grin tattoo,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, dude, are you in Pantera? And he looked like he might be in Pantera, right? Yeah. But I knew he wasn't in Pantera. But he told me, he's like, no, I'm Daryl, and he was the guy who shot all the home videos. And my neighbor.
I do remember this. Yes.
I did tell you that, right?
Yeah. The shorter version.
It's a claim to fame of mine. It's one of those moments in my life where I sometimes, because he asked me, and it is what it is. I didn't do it, but he asked me, he was like, you want to go push some crates, we can make that happen. So I was this close to going on the road with Pantera at 18, but I was also in love at the time. And, I would have just been pushing crates and loading stuff and sweating my ass off. I never would have hung out with him. I'd always be in the city, next city, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't have known the band.
Definitely,
maybe one day.
Definitely.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you could have. I think if anybody
I met Vinnie Paul one time. I got to interview him when he was in Hell Yeah.
Oh.
No way.
Yeah, at Ozfest. Wow. Back in 2008, I think, in Dallas. Yeah.
Like on a radio station?
Yeah, at the time I worked for the Eagle in Dallas, which is no longer a rock station, but they were like the biggest rock station in Dallas forever.
I listen to the Eagle now.
Yeah.
Dude, that's legendary.
Yeah, man. That was a great day. That was an insane day. Ozfest 2008, Dallas, Texas. Wow. I'm probably like 27 years old, and I interviewed Hell Yeah. Vinnie Paul, Chad from Mudvayne is also in that band. And
that would have been a big deal for him in Dallas.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. And it was a really big deal for me too. I'm from Dallas, right? So it was like even bigger for me. And I'm like, I grew up on Pantera. I told you that when we met, like that. I still listen to Pantera every day. Yeah. And so it was a trip for me. I had been close to him in the past, but never had a chance to talk to him. And it was one of those. But let me tell you what was wilder. Besides interviewing Vinnie Paul, that same day, bro. That same day, I met James from Metallica. I did not interview him, but I did meet him. I got a picture with him. Sweet. I interviewed Ozzy.
No.
I interviewed Ozzy, and I watched Metallica on stage at Ozfest in Dallas, and standing right next to me the entire set was Jack Osbourne, Ozzy's kid.
What?
So that's like one of my all-time greatest experiences.
And that was probably like peak Meet the Osbourne. What was the reality?
Oh yeah, that was still real hot right then. And if not that, it was like Ozzy and Jack had their show going. I can't remember that. It's all so long ago now. But yeah, they were in full swing.
Dang. I'm gonna rewind, but ask you about all of them. So what was Vinny like?
From what I remember, man, he was just he's the cool. He had a persona about him. Like he was like the coolest guy in the room, and it wasn't because he like was trying to let you know he was the coolest guy in the room. You just knew he was the coolest guy.
Yeah,
right. He was the man, and he was always smiling, always good vibes. All those guys that I had opportunity to spend some time with, always positive, always smiling, always enjoying the moment, and that's what I remember about him.
Dang. Is there like a recording of that somewhere or a video that you still have?
I have pictures. Of the interview. There is somewhere because when I was in Dallas and doing my show here in Houston, back in that whole era when I was on the rock station, I recorded my show every day. So it's somewhere I have that audio.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I need to dig it up now.
For sure.
I've never. I saw him in person one time, and he was in Las Vegas at a Lamb of God show, and he was in the VIP. Like I was front row, and then I looked up, and you know how like the VIP balconies, like they have little sections, like booths that are behind the stage. I looked up and I squinted and I was like, is that fucking Vinnie Paul? And he had like two biker chicks on both sides of him. And I looked up and then Randy looked up and was like, I'm going to kick it with you later or some shit. I was like, that's Vinnie Paul. And I was like, that's got to be a sick moment for Lamb of God.
To have
and this is a sick moment for me getting to see him in person.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, he was one of those guys. Like, I've been fortunate to meet so many people that like I love and like listen to their music and just look up to. But like, he's one of those ones that you kind of stop in your tracks and just kind of stare, And he had a badass beard, and that beard was on point, man. With those lines. It's
clean, dude.
Clean, man.
Fit was always
had
lit.
the fit, always had the hat.
I think, and his fit was a little bit better than Dimebags.
Oh, it's definitely better than Dimebag.
Vinny had a nice sense. I think he was probably more handsome too. I'm trying to think what they looked like in old pictures, but I think he was.
I guess it depends on your taste.
Yeah.
I'm a
I mean, they were
fan.
both.
He was the chubbier one, so.
I think they're both handsome men.
Well, it seemed like when they were younger in pictures, it was more like thick, like just corn fed chub. But yeah, he did get bigger first. But I think him and his brother are some of the best that Texas has to offer. I can only think
For sure.
it's a list. If I had to put like 5, I don't know them, but like it'd be those two, Stevie, Billy Gibbons. I guess George Strait. If you want to go to country music,
That's a pretty good list right there.
maybe. Is Willie from Texas?
Willie's from Texas.
Yeah. So him. That'd probably be the top 5.
From Texas, is what you're talking about?
Musician. I guess Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
I was about to say there's a whole.
But him
lot.
and his brother are definitely up there. But so you met James.
I met James.
Was it like a brief meeting?
Brief meet and greet type thing. Maybe had like 2 minutes to say something.
What did he look like?
I feel like I met him in like the prime Hatfield stage. Like it wasn't young. It wasn't the long haired, curly long hair. It was like the shorter, like when he was like middle 40s, early 50s, something like that. That was like 2008, like I said. So it was like
prime dad James.
Yeah.
Like he was in his dad era.
What was that? I guess the Saint Angered was the last album that had came out.
2008, maybe. That might be right.
Well, we saw both of we saw Pantera and Metallica like 2 weeks ago, and they were just legendary as
it was
legendary gets, dude.
That's awesome.
And Pantera went hard as fuck, obviously, in Arlington.
We saw them 2 nights in a row. Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm asking you like what they wore. I'll get into every detail. Those are like my heroes, James, and then the Abbott brothers.
Yeah, it was very, very brief with James, and that was also kind of a surreal moment because like I've been listening to Metallica since I was driving, and that's the first CD I ever put in my Blah Punk CD player in my '84 Chevy Blazer that was orange and black. It was like a Halloween edition. It was the Black Album, and I listened to that album forever, and it was cool to meet him, but that day was such a blur. And if I'm being honest, I was partying back then, you know what I mean, and I was on cloud 9.
Dude, I don't blame you, bro.
It was brief, but I do have the old school photos.
Dang,
I'd love to see those one day.
Yeah, I'll show you. For sure, I'll show you.
And then Ozzy, he was just...
You got to interview Ozzy.
So I did interview Ozzy. This isn't a cool part of the story. This kind of sucks, actually. This is what I heard. So when I interviewed Ozzy, you've seen the clips of Ozzy stuttering, right? Mm-hmm. Well, at the time, 2008 again, I had a chance to interview him, and I interviewed Sharon too. Sharon was there as well, and she loved me. She was so nice, and just she made me feel really like at ease. And I'm nervous as shit to talk to Ozzy.
No
right?
doubt,
bro. Like I don't know how I ended up getting to do that interview, but I clearly should not have done that interview. That should have somebody else way more talented than me should have been doing that interview. Dude. And so I talked to him. I have no idea what the fuck I asked him. I couldn't tell you now. But he started stuttering in the interview a lot, right? Like he started speaking to where you couldn't really understand his answers, mumbling and going on. But it was, like I said, mumbles. Turns out, I found out later that he does that when he's like pissed at people. Oh, no. So he doesn't always do that. Like he can be on, right? But when he's not really into the interview, he kind of fucking does the Ozzy thing. And he did that to me. And when I heard that, it crushed me. I was like, fuck.
He could have just been having a bad day, though.
Maybe. Sharon was really nice to me. And I met Kelly, too.
Dude, there's no way. There's no way it was you.
It was a bummer. But that picture's fucking rad.
I bet so, yeah.
That's all you can ask for, dude. But, yeah, it wasn't you. I mean, just think about the millions of motherfuckers that want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And you got to talk to him. Like...
Yeah, dude, because...
I did get to talk to him, and I'd love to hear that back, but I just feel like all these years I haven't listened to him because I'm like, He fucking
salty
hated me.
about it.
He well, not. I just bummed. You know, like I didn't live up to his ex. Like I'm there with a fucking legend. You know what I mean? Like fucking Ozzy. You know,
I mean, that's one. But to your point, I mean, you're not. You know, I mean, he is like, I don't know who's
What? I don't
like
know
no
anything. What'd you say?
who's gonna hang with Ozzy. It's like,
yeah. What do you do in that
What do you
situation?
do?
Yeah,
You know,
I probably would have.
it's easy
it.
to clam up. You know,
especially
Yeah.
Ozzy. That's like,
but I should have been on it. But you know, that was a young point. I was still like a young buck in my career and everything like that. And I like I said, I thought I was the shit and fucking partying and who knows what the fuck I said to him. So
At least Sharon was nice, and you got to
Probably-
meet Kelly. Like I really like Kelly. She's cool.
yeah, Sharon's always been nice. I think that's half the reason Sharon probably started following Ozzy around, just because.
Needs an interpreter.
Yeah, because if it was just him alone, everybody might think he's an asshole.
That's why I follow you around.
I didn't think he was an asshole at the time. In the time of the interview, I thought the interview was fucking awesome. I thought we were vibing.
Oh, but he was just doing the
I
stuttering
had no
thing.
idea.
You didn't know until
I didn't know
afterwards.
until afterwards that was like a thing. You know,
Oh.
I thought I had gotten some classic Aussie shit. You
Oh, he's
know?
doing the thing.
Yeah. But apparently, like that's like when he wasn't into it. So you know
Whatever.
What a
is
good tactic, though. Like I gotta respect it.
Have you seen the?
Right.
I'm sure you've seen the interview clip he did where he's like high as hell, and the lady's like, "Hello, Ozzy," and he's like, "Hello,"
I feel like that's all the time.
and then the interviewer's like, "Ozzy," and he's just like looking around, and she's like, "Ozzy," he looks at her and she's like, "Hello," he's just like tripping super hard.
Probably after he snorted some ants or something.
No shit. What a wild guy, man.
Yeah.
Dude,
What a-
those dudes.
What
were-
a wild life.
All those 3 dudes we just talked about.
Yeah, I wish I could have met any one of those like hard rock guys or hair metal band guys, like in their prime.
Dude,
you know?
the Avid brothers. Can you imagine partying?
No, I never met Dime. I never got to shake Dime's hand. I never talked to Dime.
He's the goat.
He's the goat, but
I mean, you may go to a dude's house. He's got a Crown Royal shaped pool that's painted the lining is purple. I mean, that's pretty legendary, dude.
their home videos were they were so far ahead of the curve, right? Like back then, releasing those home videos, and I fucking got every one of them, man. And
Dude, great point.
you know, no one was doing shit like that. No one was doing. I mean, they were doing like fucking hardcore jackass-esque type stuff, but way more over the top, like X-rated, crazy shit that no one was doing back then. And, you know, they literally were putting out on VHS. I remember this prank that they did where they like, I think they were like trying to like make a copy of their ball sack, their dick and balls, right? So they
Yeah.
jumped up on a copy machine, but the fucking glass broke. And whoever was sitting on it, I don't know if it might have been Dime, had chunks of glass like in his ass cheeks.
My
And then,
God.
like, that's a great bit right there. You think it would be over, but no, then they attempt to do surgery and remove all the pieces of glass as they're all like fucked up doing shots and shit. Like, just what an era, man.
If they would have had YouTube, they'd have
Can you imagine the views?
a billion
wow.
subscribers, dude.
Those videos probably have to be out there on YouTube too. That'd be interesting.
I've seen a few, and
Yeah.
some of the prank ones. I can't remember any of them specifically, but I have watched them.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure
usually
they're
watch
out
those
there.
when I'm drunk.
Right.
Okay, before I go to sleep, I'll be like.
They
look at
showed a bunch
those.
of cool footage at like the first night we just saw Pantera as the headliner, and they showed a bunch of really cool,
unreleased.
like unreleased footage, like when they did like the
Cemetery
tribute.
Gates.
Yeah, they didn't play. They like played the track of the beginning
Right.
of Cemetery Gates. They didn't end up playing the song, which was disappointing, but I get it.
But they played a lot of unreleased home footage during it, which was sick.
Yeah.
Dime was way ahead of the curve guitar-wise, dude, because he was doing those clinics and those huge personal like articles in Guitar World magazine. Like before, like now, like part of a band's PR package is like sending them to Premier Guitar for a segment for the guitar rundown.
Yeah, he was all over
But
that shit
he
with
was doing
Washburn.
that
Yeah.
shit with Washburn and Randall Amps.
Yeah.
Live clinics, like real, like the dudes at Texas Music Emporium over there at 1916-45, shout them out. Their best music store, I think. But they have pictures where he did clinics there, and there was
badass.
He did
Could
a
you
lot.
imagine?
Joel and Hugh have pictures of them, and Hugh's an old turd now, but he had long black hair, looked like a thrash dude, and he's like hugging Dime. But a lot of those Dime, I mean, there's a lot of dudes, and if you could find closed down music stores that were on the North Corridor going from here to Dallas, they all have stories about Dime.
That's badass.
Because Dimebag and Rusty Cooley, Rusty Cooley, he lives, I think, close to here. I mean, he lives up in your neck of the woods, I think, on the north side.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's maybe even Conroe. I don't know. But he's local. But he would do seminars, and he's the shred lord of shred lords. But
Hell yeah.
used to have a great metal scene, dude, between Houston and Dallas. Used to be a great...
When I first moved to Houston, and again, I'm from Dallas, and then when I was like 14, I moved to Denver, which is also a great place for fucking metal and rock music. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and then when I first came to Houston, like I was going to say, to your point, like, there was such a fucking metal scene here, like Dinosaur Salad.
Yeah, that's an old school, dude.
Man, they had the coolest T-shirt back in the day. It said, "We smoke more weed before 9 a.m. than most people smoke all day."
I love it.
Fuck yeah,
dude, that's a sick shirt, bro.
That's cool.
Right.
I used to go see metal shows up in Humble at Fuel, dude, and it was right here in Humble, dude, and the skate park was next to it. So you had the hardcore club. Literally, like I would see people drop into the half pipe from the roof of Fuel. Like I saw this badass pro rollerblade chick do like a backflip off of Fuel into the skate park. But it was such a great scene, dude. And now they're not there. It's sad.
It is sad, man. When Fitz like was no more, that was sad. That's still like a bummer, man. I've seen so many badass shows at Fitzgerald's, and that's just like a Houston institution. It's almost like sacrilegious, like to get rid of that shit. And
hardcore. Rage Against the Machine played there. Testament, Exodus. Rock and roll bands. A lot of old school rock and roll bands. I'm trying to think. Somebody told me a real sick band they saw at Fitzgerald.
I remember talking about that.
I can't remember what it was, but it was a sick band.
I saw a fucking Soulfly there.
Oh, that would have been sick.
And it was the scariest concert of my fucking life.
Oh, yeah.
There were so many people inside Fitzgerald's, and I was upstairs. And I think I want to say Sepultura maybe played that night too. I think it was when Soulfly and Sepultura were doing their thing together. And
I think that might have been.
It was asses to elbows in there, right? I'm upstairs, and I don't remember I think it was like. One of those bands, I think it was Soulfly, they had like a big fucking song that was like for soccer games.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the Angel's Son? Is it?
I don't remember. It was like a chant song. I don't know what it was called.
I know exactly this.
It was almost like they were talking or speaking in a different language, and when they played that, the whole fucking upstairs started just bouncing and shit. And I was like, man, I need to get close to an exit. This shit is wild, And then I saw a girl, I think somebody's elbow like came down and cracked her in the face, and it was just the middle of her face was just split open. That was a wild show, man. But Fitzgerald's dope venue. A shame that it's gone. That it's like when you think about like what the scene was. That's also the old people shit to say, right? Like the scene 20 years ago was so fucking awesome, right? And it was.
Yeah, you'd hang out and smoke cigarettes on the outside.
But I think when you kill music venues like that and you get rid of them and just really kind of they're gone forever, demolish the place, and I think you add to the problem. Yeah. With the scene, if there's a problem, the lack of this, like you're taking a piece out of it.
I was about to say, you're taking the piece.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I deal with that right now as an artist myself. Venues that are good for a good fit for you with a good scene. It's like, I mean, I'm in. What do you? You could consider me rock.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm rock and roll, like rock musician, and like I'm Out is a rock song, but it's just hard. Where do I play it?
Right.
Especially as somebody that's not a huge artist that can sell lots of tickets. It's like,
There's a handful of places
yeah,
that
it's
you can
like
see a rock show.
there's
Scout Bar.
Yeah.
That's in the
Foundation Room.
but
Clear
even
Lake.
then, I mean, they want you to be able to sell what 300, 400 tickets.
Oh, do they? I'm out the loop, man. I have no
Yeah, I
idea.
mean, it's like,
We paid $25 to watch a DJ. We thought it was going to be a band.
yeah, dude, and it's
At
just
Scout
like
Bar.
I can't find any places. It's hard to find places, especially in Houston, that are like not too high of a barrier. It's everything is like they want you to sell 400 or take the hit yourself.
What's that place on 1960? Oh man, I thought we talked about it.
What town?
Oh, I don't know. What is it? Spring, maybe? Houston? Willowbrook area? Do you know what venue I'm talking about? It's like a hardcore metal venue. They have metal
Oh,
bands.
19th hole.
No, that's the Woodlands. But that's one. I mean, that's a metal spot.
Yeah, I need to get in there. Well, yeah, it's hard rock. That's another problem. Yeah,
Back in the day, 19th hole used to be like fucking metal, dude.
it's
Like,
still pretty
Yeah.
metal.
yeah.
If any, I don't know what it is now, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't been there a long fucking time. But there's a spot that I'm thinking of. It's a fucking rock bar on 1960. Fucking, is it Acadia?
Oh, it might be. That
Yes.
sounds familiar, yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been there, and
I haven't been there in forever either, but I hear a lot of people talking about it. How about,
I need
rock
to hit
bands?
them up. Yeah,
Yeah.
There used to be like Java Jazz.
Java Jazz was cool.
yeah. I'm just
Don't
learning
take away
this.
Pink
I'm
Floyd.
learning. It's really coming from a country band. All I knew was country venues. So now it's like I got to reinvent the wheel, trying to figure out who likes rock music.
Right.
Because I played in like red dirt country venues for 6 years. It's like, I
Yeah.
gotta. But I mean, ain't nothing but a couple phone calls and spreading the word. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's like Warehouse Live and Foundation
I
Room.
also feel like a lot of places now I feel like there's a lot of rock guys, right? Rock music, rock bands that play to Texas country crowds. And there's like there's a spot out in Hockley called the Roadhouse. You ever been out there? You ever seen that? This is a pretty cool stage. It's like an outdoor venue, but they do rock bands and country bands out there. And
Shout out them. I think I've never been there, but I know the place.
yeah, it's forever away. It's way
Yes,
out there.
I think I
but-
drove my motorcycle up there one time. So
I
I'm
know
bad.
him.
yeah, it'd be a nice motorcycle cruise.
What's that place that Coolio passed away after he played at?
Oh, the Frio Grill.
Oh, the barn,
It's such
yeah.
a weird name. The barn. They're nice people. That's a good place to play. Dude, I have seen some pretty rock and roll country dudes play to some old crowds before. Like, I've been the youngest person in the crowd by like 20.
I know some of these places that you're talking about.
I'm like, damn. I'm like, the band is sick, and I like the energy, and then but I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
the crowd is like
yeah.
geriatric. I'm not
Yeah.
being ageist. It is what it is. I'll be old one day.
Ageist, is that a thing, man?
Yeah, I'll have people in the comments or DMs saying I'm ageist. If I clip it.
That's just fucking facts, you know.
Yeah,
I was
I'll be
trying
old
to
one
find
day.
that venue because there's a couple that I have in my head right now.
There's a couple more that I have in my head too, but you know, they're like what you just described.
Yeah.
You know, so
Oh yeah, you gotta do. You gotta do what it takes. You gotta do it. Whatever. I'll play for no one.
there used to be the engine room though too. You remember the engine room back in the day? That place was rad.
That was the new metal zone.
And what else? There was like the Proletariat. Is that place still around?
No,
think
and
so.
I ain't heard that in a long
That's
time.
a while.
I don't think.
Am I aging myself?
No, dude, I forgot. I've never even been there. I just remember people. Both of the engine room and the Proletariat were hard.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
if what I remember, very metal.
Well, I saw Seven Dust at Engine Room. I know that. I saw like Blue October there, which I wouldn't call metal at all, but I saw a lot of shows
I've heard
there.
people call Blue October metal.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
I definitely have.
Really?
Yeah.
Blue October? Don't they have a fucking fiddle in their band?
I've heard a lot. I think they do now.
They
Yeah.
have some strings or some shit in the band,
They
right?
played at 713 a couple of months ago.
Hey, I like Blue October. I got no problems with Blue October. I really do like Blue October. I liked their shit back in the day, for real. I mean, there was a point where I was trying to go to every Blue October show I could go to.
I love. Yeah, I recorded at where they did I think an album at over there in Stormy Cooper Media. Shout out Stormy Cooper Media.
Oh yeah, Stormy Cooper, a legend.
Blue October did an album at his place.
That's cool.
It's like a big poster of him in the wall in the studio.
Hell yeah.
Which is sick.
I'm trying to find that.
So you done radio your entire life?
So I've done radio since I was 18. Yeah, and I'm 43, so 25 years.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah, man. That's all I've done.
Isn't he a cool guy?
Yeah, I know. I knew as soon as you walked in, you're a cool dude.
That's what I'm saying.
I walked in just like this too. And by the way, these are new shades. I have never worn these on the internet before, so I debuted these just for you.
Dang, I was gonna ask if you wore those all the time because I really like them.
Nope, just got them for the Shreds podcast here.
Dang.
Appreciate it again. Appreciate you having me here.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no doubt. Do you want a guitar lesson?
Oh my gosh.
This is
Free guitar lesson with every show.
No, he said he wanted one.
I want to learn like a party trick to where I can like walk into
This
the
is it.
room.
Just captivate. Sounds like a
You
murder.
gotta teach me like we were just talking about dime. You gotta give me like a little lick, dude. Like a little. That's a good one. That's a good
That's the. Yeah, it's one and then a space and then two spaces and that one and then that one. So. To be a man.
I'm like, let's move on.
I have no musical talent
What's another
whatsoever.
party trick that we can show Zakk?
Smoke on the water.
That's the first way to beat that guy at the party.
Yeah.
Oh god, every chick's like, oh.
I can play it. That's the only thing I can play.
I don't know. Here you go. Welcome to the Shred Shed. ASMR.
No, absolutely not.
I don't know. I mean, I wish I had the electric. I could do. You were right. I got to get a way to set up where the electric's always on.
Yeah,
Next time.
that'd be super cool.
Yeah, ain't look, dude. I got the shred guitar.
It would have been very hard. I probably would have. You probably would have been bummed at my performance. You'd be like, I can't teach this guy shit.
It's okay. I'm not.
I don't
a
think
good
I
learner.
learned.
I've tried to learn to play guitar. I have guitars that I bought, and I'm like, I'm going to teach myself how to play guitar. I'm going to watch YouTube videos to play guitar. I don't know why. I think it's my fingers. They've been described as meaty. You know, they're like
Nah, dude.
short and
I've
fat.
seen some dudes with sausages.
Bro, these are
shred.
pretty sausage, man. I don't know. My dad played guitar. My dad was a musician, you know. But I've never been able to mess with it.
My dad was not I don't come from a musical family at all.
I do, man. I come from a country music family. You know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
How long you been doing country music?
I've been doing like country radio for the last 12 years. I've been doing it since my daughter was born. She'll be 12 this year. So,
Aw.
yeah.
What put you in the country scene? Just you grew up on it, or?
Well, I did grow up around a lot of country music. I can remember being, super young, like in elementary school or whatever. And my grandparents, my Nana and Papa, which were my mom's parents, they would take me to the Opry every weekend in Dallas, Cedar Hill area. And I loved it. And I loved watching those dudes play the steel guitar. And it was just a good time, right? And as I got older, I would hear my dad's side of the family, my granddad and all of his brothers, my uncles, always talking about Bob Wills. And that is also my great uncle, a guy by the name of Bob Wills. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of him.
The King?
The King.
Yeah.
So that blood runs through my veins, and I'm really proud of that.
That's awesome.
It's without Bob Wills, I know I sound partial here and shit, but I don't think we would have country music as we know it, or when we talk about country music, it's here, in my opinion, because of Bob Wills. Western swing created that whole movement, and So yeah, I grew up, hearing about him. That's all they talked about, like every family gathering, every time I'm around my uncles and my cousins. I mean, his
That's all y'all
pictures.
listen to.
Oh yeah, all the time.
There's a lot of.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome.
So yeah, I grew up around it. My dad played. My dad played guitar. My dad was always like, playing. He was in a band and shit. And when he was in high school, they never did anything or whatever. But my dad was always the guy who would play like guitar at Christmas and fucking Thanksgiving and shit. So yeah, I was always around music. And then this is a wild story. Are we good on time?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of time.
We can do
There's
whatever you want.
no limit.
I'm just talking your ear off here.
That's what we want.
So
That's cool. Can I have a water?
So I got officially, so that was my childhood, right? Nothing too crazy. Like I said earlier, I moved to Denver when I was like 13, something like that. And I knew then that I wanted to be on the radio. Like I wanted to be on the radio since I was like a little kid, and when I was like 8 years old. And long story short is I get to Denver, and my best friend in high school, this kid who lives in my neighborhood, Jason Fry, shout out Jason, his older sister was a like part-time DJ at KBPI, which was the fucking rock station in Denver back in the day. And she would always, be around. And one summer she asked us, me and Jason, if we would consider working if we wanted a summer job at Red Rocks. And we said yes. So my first job in the entertainment business was working at Red Rocks. And she hooked that up. And for the life of me, I can't remember Jason's sister's name, but she knew Barry Fay, who was like the major concert promoter at Red Rocks back in the day. And he hired me and Jason, and we were like 14, maybe 15. I definitely didn't drive. And it's kind of shitty, though, like the job that we had. And I feel kind of like an ass for it now. So I was kind of like a snitch, like a paid snitch.
Oh, no.
So they called it a bootlegger. They said you would work it's like the bootleg guys, right? So me and Jason were 14, 15 years old. We were wearing street clothes, right? Whatever you'd wear to the first concert I ever worked this at was the Fish Festival. It's an iconic fish festival that happened in Morrison, Colorado. It was a huge fucking thing. They pissed off the entire city of Morrison, Colorado. It was a crazy experience. I'm 14, 15, and that's my first time seeing anything like that. Okay. And that was some wild, crazy hippie, like Woodstock, free love shit, so it was crazy. I'd never seen it. The shit was wild to me, but I was doing this job called bootlegging, right? Where me and my buddy Jason would walk around Morrison, the Red Rocks Amphitheater, the grounds, and we would spot people that were bootlegging fucking merchandise, right? Or selling burritos out of fucking ice coolers and shit. And we had backpacks, and we would radio, right, to real security guards, and they would come fucking, so I feel bad about that. I feel kind of like a piece of shit because these are like super nice, like hippie people, just like trying to get to the, and I'm like, I feel bad.
So you were like Fish's loss prevention.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's so funny.
What a cool
I'm gonna
show,
update my
though.
resume now.
Yeah.
Tell me about a memorable experience. I was loss prevention and Fish.
Yeah,
dude, I can imagine Fish in Colorado. I bet that was.
It was crazy. It was like a 3-day festival.
Like a lot of gyrating.
Yeah. And I didn't know who fucking Fish was at the time, right? Like, I had no idea about Fish. And obviously, by the time I left, I fucking loved Fish, right?
Dude, I'll never laugh harder than when somebody that likes Fish is like, have you heard their 23-minute 87 jam? I'm
Like Grateful Dead.
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't.
I don't want to listen either.
That was like what we were talking about earlier, though. Like when we were outside and you were talking about like how classic rock, back in the day, classic rock was recorded to sound different. And, there was, because of FM radio, it sounded different. And I think, maybe songs, I mean, I can remember like Zeppelin having like 6-7 minute long songs and shit, you know. But DJs back in the 70s and 80s, you got to remember they loved that shit because they could fucking go outside and smoke a cigarette,
Hell
right?
yeah. And it wasn't like there just wasn't as much push from advertisers.
Yeah,
we're gonna get our 2 minutes.
Yeah,
like back in the day.
Oh, I love when they play like the whole Stairway on like 106.9.
Yeah.
It's like I don't change my radio station.
Yeah,
I don't have Bluetooth.
really,
I don't have any of that, but I listen to 106.9 and never change it. Very faithful to Dean and Raj.
Hell yeah.
And like when they play Stairway, I'm like, play the whole thing. Or No More Tears, Ozzy. Like I just love those 7-8 minute, 9 minute long songs.
It makes me laugh because we were talking about that outside. She loves the radio. She loves
That's cool.
I don't listen to anything but the radio.
That's awesome. And I love Dean and Raj, and I grew up, they were some of the people that inspired me and wanted me to get into radio because they were in Denver. They got kicked out of Denver, by the way, back in the day for some crazy shit that I probably shouldn't even bring up because I don't want to do that to them. But they were fucking awesome when they were on in Denver at this rock station, KBPI. And yeah, man, I had a chance to work with them years ago. We worked for the same company, and they were always so nice and so cool.
Legends.
And today, my good friend Kelly Ryan, I think, is on their show.
Yeah,
I know
is.
Kelly forever. Me and her used to actually teach broadcasting school together with Kelly Ryan. Yeah, we used to teach broadcasting together. And she's super awesome. I love her. I love her energy. She's one of the most knowledgeable rock chicks I know. I mean, she would be great to have on your podcast.
I love everyone on 106.9, 107.5.
So have you? And shameless plug, but I gotta show some love here. Have you listened to it at night lately? 106.9, 7 to midnight.
Okay.
The gentleman that is responsible for bringing me to Houston is a guy by the name of Outlaw Dave, and he is now on the air there at 7 to midnight, the Outlaw Dave show.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
And he's the fucking man. So
I'll have to check it out. It's usually like if I'm driving, it's 106.9, and I normally don't drive.
Yeah, I know.
At night, so.
You've heard Outlaw Dave.
I mean, I'm sure I have.
I've heard his he's
got a great voice, man. Joe Buddy.
Yeah, it's your old buddy Outlaw Dave.
Yeah.
Well, usually at night.
Shit's badass, right?
It is, dude. And
So
then he
badass.
play like ZZ Top after he says it.
Hell yeah.
And it makes me, that's why, dude, that's what I was telling you. I will not listen to classic rock on streaming services.
Yeah.
If I'm listening to classic rock, it's got to be.
I'll listen to the
Because
Dean and Raj
I didn't even
podcast.
think about that. You got to have the host. It's the combo of a dude like him leading you into like the Immigrant Song or some shit.
Yeah.
And you roll your windows down and you're like, fuck, it's not all fucking monthly listeners streaming.
Yeah, that's what I grew up on, those Dean and Raj, when it was 106.9 The Point.
Yeah.
It's nostalgic in that way. That's why I like it. Because, I mean, I have to play the game of Spotify and you know how it is. And it's like, it feels so lifeless.
Yeah, there's a disconnection with streaming music,
It's
right?
just like analytics.
I mean, but that's just for me. I mean, maybe people younger than me, they don't feel that way because they didn't grow up with the radio, right? Like I'm for real. Like when I was a kid, my mom used to put me in the bathtub and I would listen to the country radio station at night, every night in the bathtub. And I was like, man, I want to be that person. Like, how do I get in that radio, and like do that? And I just remember forever wanting to do it. And I think, like my daughter, like I said, she's 12. Bro, she doesn't even she knows I work at a radio station, so she knows what a radio, but I don't think she's ever like
Turned on the radio.
been like, hey, let's listen to KRBE or let's listen to fucking whatever,
But she's like, her radio in her mind's like,
yeah.
Like AM radio.
Yeah.
I grew up wanting to be, I went to school for broadcast journalism. I went to Sam Houston. And
it was always
Dan Rather.
my second, and I think that's why I do this. My second was if music never worked out, and it still hasn't. And now that's why I'm kind of doing this. Is what I would go. I always want to do radio.
Yeah,
and that's why I love this because, you don't have to have you don't have to do all the things. The barrier to just do this now.
Yeah, this is so badass. I mean, I wish this would have been around when I was getting into it and shit.
Right, dude. And I am blessed in that way because I'd never be able to do this if it wasn't.
And it's so much better that you're doing it and you're not doing it for someone else who doesn't give a fuck about you.
Well,
you know what I mean? And that's what I did for so long, is working for these corporations, right? And they play the same fucking 10 songs all day long, right? Now I'm lucky enough to be on independent country radio where I don't have to worry about that bullshit. But, you know, I worked for people. I always made other people money. You know what I mean? I was always pushing their agenda, pushing whatever they wanted to push. And I think it's so cool that you have your own fucking platform and your own audience that you cultivated on organic originality, fucking Earl Shred shit, right? Like,
yeah,
you know,
thank you. I appreciate it.
They can't do that. No other radio station in town can duplicate what you're doing, right? Like they just can't. They can't. If they wanted to, they couldn't, you know, and that to me is powerful, you know. So
I think so. It definitely helps. Yeah.
No one's gonna work as hard for you as you do.
I've definitely had more people recognize me randomly from this podcast than I'm from music. Though I've only been in a band since February.
Okay.
I mean, I was a hired gun for years.
Yeah.
So, but definitely the podcast.
How long have you been doing the podcast?
Since last November.
October, November.
Coming up on a year.
Coming up on a year, dude.
Wow.
Are you gonna have an anniversary party?
I think I
didn't even think about it.
You gotta have a party and invite that dog.
I'll go with, you can get bulldogs running in Houston.
Oh my gosh!
Dude,
Everybody come and bring your dog.
I've talked about it. That might be the move. I've talked about doing a live one, selling tickets and doing a live podcast.
Fuck yeah, you should, bro. That'd be awesome.
And you know, you've seen them before.
Yeah, I've watched live podcasts. I watch Kill Tony all the time.
Oh, yeah, we love Kill Tony.
My dream is to host the Kill Tony, but with music. So you can show up.
A rat show. That's such a great idea.
Show up, put your hat.
You should do it.
And then you get a song.
Fuck yeah. That's badass. Come to play. You can either play with the band, bring your own fucking guitar, you plug in, you play with the house band, you know, or maybe you just have a kit and you have the whole fucking band come out. Like if you pull the band.
That's kind of what
that would be sick though, man.
That's a good idea.
That's kind of what my open mics are now, I guess.
Yeah.
Shout out, come to the open mic tomorrow. But I don't know. I think I think more though. I want to add the comedy. Like the hesitation I have with doing it is because the musicians have to agree that if they suck, they're gonna get roasted.
Yeah.
And musicians can be a little more sensitive than comedians.
Yeah.
But if I could just build up a repertoire and like, hey, if you can't take the heat, get out. It could be. But maybe a live podcast for the anniversary. I might, if I can get a venue, that'd be sick.
I'm sure we can make it happen.
Would you be down to be a guest host?
Yeah, of course, man.
Because I would definitely, it'd be a great opportunity to do the live show. I wanted was just get like 3 guest artists, like 15 minutes with me and a guest host at a table, live talking. Then an artist plays 2 songs. And then the artist sits down for 10 minutes. We talk to that artist. They get off stage.
Yeah, I think it sounds dope.
Yeah, then next artist and do that.
When is your anniversary?
I don't know. It could be arbitrary.
I thought it was
October. It's like my dog's
but
birthday.
But it might be November.
It's kind of like my dog's birthday. You just make it up.
I just know because I put it on my resume.
I can look it up and I'll start working on that. I've been so busy with music shows, but I got my schedule a little bit filled out. I'm not taking any more live music for a while. But damn, what was I gonna say? Hey,
it's our watchdog.
He's like picking up his paws. Like,
hey, yeah, what are you gonna do, bro? Yeah, I was gonna say our inspiration for this podcast was we saw Lamb of God, and
it was a sick show.
The
we
show
had to
was
talk
so
about
sick.
it.
The next day, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get microphones. You want to do a podcast?" She was like, "What are you gonna do it over?" And I was like, "Let's just talk about that show last night. It was fucking sick."
So what do you want me to say?
And that was the whole idea. Was the podcast was concert reviews.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I guess that's what we do. But then, in the beginning, my friends wanted to come on. I'm not a. I feel like you know me well enough. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And that's still one of my favorite podcasts was when Tyler and Connor came and they used to sit out on the patio where y'all were earlier and video and record out there. We set up this crap out there And it's probably one of my favorite podcasts. I wasn't even on that one. I just let them do it because they're a mess.
30 minutes of the podcast with me smoking cigarettes.
It's still one of the best episodes.
I was like, hey, do you want to, it was like a fall day. I was like, it feels really nice and I want to smoke cigarettes. Do you want to do it out here?
Oh, yeah.
But then it became a thing. But, thank you for the kind words, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just think it's dope that you're doing this shit, man. And I think it's dope that anybody who is watching this right now could do the same shit and with their own take, their own personality. There's an audience for everybody, right?
Go file a LLC, get a credit card, go buy the
Oh, shit,
cameras.
this man's legit, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I hear from people that want to do it, but they say, I don't have the money. And I'm like, go file an LLC, apply for a credit card.
Yeah, that's like $50.
Yeah, it's not.
Apply for a credit card, there's your money.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how I'm going to pay it back.
And, if you have a smartphone, you don't have to have all these nice-ass cameras and all this.
No, that's what the first 10 podcasts I did was that smartphone and that one.
Yeah.
And it was actually that iPhone, and I used pancake guitar mics and pencil mics.
Oh, yeah,
So
that was one of them right there.
When we had like 4 guests, everybody would have a different mic.
We had like the Bluebird, the pencil mic.
Somebody had the Bluebirds, man.
Now your name's in lights behind you.
That was his Christmas present before he was
That's
Earl
badass.
Shreds.
That's badass.
I got him that. He changed his Instagram handle, and I was like, "That's pretty cool. I'm gonna get him a." It was on our patio. I wanted to get a patio light, and then he became Earl Shreds. After
Tell me
that.
about that. How did that happen? Because I also know you as Dalton.
It's very uneventful.
Do people know that?
Some people don't. They call him
A
Earl.
lot of people don't.
People come
No,
up
I
to
mean
me.
people on the podcast. I didn't just.
Oh
like,
yeah. No,
give out your
yeah.
name.
Dang, you
No, they
ruined
know.
it. No.
They know it. I mean, they don't want to know it. They block Dalton out. Most people are
Right.
like, I've literally been like, well, my real name's Dalton. And they go, I'm not going to call you that.
Yeah.
People come up to me and
Earl
ask where
Shreds
Earl
is
is.
iconic, man. That's
Thank-
like such a fucking dope name.
Thank you, dude. And then it
Like, how do you not want to fuck with Earl Shreds, right?
and
Like,
it leans to so many other avenues. Earl Games, Earl Skis.
Oh my gosh.
Earl does
But then he has like dog
taco.
shreds. Like you have a dog shreds line.
Yeah, I have a dog merch called the Dog Shred merch line.
Hell yeah.
It's like dog. But how I came up with it is very boring. I was just drunk one night, and I was like, man, I'm tired of pussyfooting around. Like, I'm tired. Actually just like, tired of working for other musicians.
right.
And I was like, I got to be serious about my brand. Like,
Right.
it's like, if I'm going to take it serious and do music, so I was like, what's the name? And then my middle name's Earl. And then I was like, people say I shred.
That was
So
everybody
then I
had
just
always
went
said that.
Earl
Yeah.
Shred. I think I put Earl Shred, and then I was like, needs an S. And then I put the S.
Hell yeah.
Just typed it in Instagram and it said available.
And this is a lesson for everybody about haters. People told me that name was so fucking dumb
I love it.
for months, dude. How
But look at that sick logo I made.
exactly?
Yeah, it does look good.
Because when I would
Does
tell
look
people
good.
when I started, I'd be like, I'm gonna call my name and change everything to Earl Shreds. They were like, what the fuck is that? And then the logo existed, and then now this, and now it's
This
not.
is the first.
Hell
So,
yeah.
lesson learned: don't let people discourage you.
No.
Don't let haters discourage you.
If you believe in it, people are
Yeah,
eventually
man.
gonna
Yeah, because
follow.
that's exactly. It felt like for a few months I was like, am I the only one that thinks this name is sick? This is a cool name, Earl Shreds. And then I started thinking, I was like, she can be Sydney Shreds. My daughter's Avery Shreds.
Yeah.
Toby Shreds.
Which I stole that from Lyndon B. Johnson, because LBJ, he named his
Yeah,
wife. He
yeah.
named his wife and his dog everybody Johnson. And I was like, I'm just gonna do the same shit.
The Shreds tribe.
So
Yeah.
then people know her as Sydney Shreds.
Yeah, they call me Mrs. Shreds all the time.
Oh
I
yeah.
walk up and they're like, "How's Miss Shreds?" or Mrs. Shreds.
Damn.
But Sydney Shreds kind of.
I really do appreciate the kind words, dude. It's been rough lately, man. Music is tough. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not one that I don't whine. It's just been it's like I just don't understand the unnecessary headwind sometimes.
I saw that post that you made, and
That's one of it, dude. It's just
I think a lot of it has to do. I just don't think certain people in the industry, some bar owners, right, some club owners, I don't think they know how to deal with people or to communicate, right? Like they're kind of on their own wave, and I think artists and musicians can kind of sometimes be on their own wave, but I think there's some of them who don't maybe get it, and I don't think there's just a disconnect there. Like they're not people. You know, sometimes you have to have a front man, right? And if the bar owner might be better suited as a drummer, right? Not being the front man of your band, okay? Yeah. Like being the face of your band. And he might not be able to communicate well, or the booking agent or whoever the fuck it is, right? But then there's also ego, you know, there's some of that.
That's what I find the most.
Yeah.
Is
well, that's just people too, man.
Their place is the best. Everywhere else sucks. I'm like, I was just at the other place the other weekend.
Yeah.
Like, looking around your place, I'm like, it's pretty much apple oranges, buddy. Like,
yeah.
It's just,
I don't feel like that's fair for them to say either. There's so much. There's so many other fish in the sea around where we're at, right? Southeast Texas. So it's like, okay, dude, you can have your bar. Just go to the next one. There's literally one next door.
Yeah,
you know,
everywhere you turn.
And the good venues, I like the Whiskey Barn, of course, 1886 Humble. There's not, you can't replace them because they're awesome. But then I do find the ones that are not good, it's like, okay, you're easily replaceable.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're never going to be like shine. And then they're closing down in 2 years and they're wondering why, going on Facebook. Oh, nobody came to my bar and I had to liquidate, whining. And I'm like,
yeah,
I had to work with you a couple of times. Like, I can see why your business went under. Like, I don't understand where you treat the artist like that plays. If anything, I'm the customer. If I have a following, I'm the customer. Or if I'm marketing the event on my own and bringing a following or bringing the people, like, you're 100% not involved in any marketing. You're just the stage. Like,
they don't recognize that it's like a almost like a partnership.
I was about to say a partnership
between you and their bar, and that your brand is going to bring your friends, your family, your people, your tribe out, and they are going to spend money at your new partner's establishment, right? Well, that new, sometimes in some cases, those partners have ego and they're fucking idiots, and they just think, well, doesn't matter if you play here or somebody else is the people will be here. And I don't buy that bullshit, you know. Yeah. It's unfortunate that you're dealing with that, but you know, that's not everywhere, right?
There's sometimes, depending on where you go, there's going to be a built-in crowd, but a lot of the places around here, there's not that built-in crowd they're always going to be at that venue waiting for a new band. The band usually brings
I try to get away from guarantee pay as much as possible. Just because I'm like...
Get away from guaranteed pay?
Yeah, guaranteed flat rate. That, you know, there's certain venues that pay a guaranteed flat rate, $1,000, like a small bar. They've got food and a built-in customer crowd. Those are where you get your guarantees. And I'm just at the point where I'm like, I just want to get away from that and just hustle till I can get ticket sales.
Yeah. Because
all the problems we just talked about are at these guaranteed paid places.
Okay.
Where it's like, yeah, here's $1,000, but now it's like you work for me. It's like I'd rather just
you have to make back.
I'd rather just grind it out and sell tickets. Have a partnership with a venue that takes a percentage of my ticket sales, and the people that support me, they bought their ticket. And I've had to learn that when I started the band, I'd play anywhere, obviously. You can play every gig. But now I'm fine. I'm learning, like, it's just not worth at all. It's actually negatively affecting you to play at some of these places. Your image, your mental health. Just lessons learned, I guess, you know. But the venues that are good to me, I love them for it, you know what I mean? I just wish you just kill yourself. Like, literally loading in the PA and, like...
It's a lot of work.
And I feel
there's not a lot of places that cater to musicians, and you would think that these places might do a little bit more of that, right? Like, And I will say that back in the day, I had a pretty tight relationship with Scout, which I mentioned earlier. And I feel like that place was built for musicians by musicians, right? That place was built to bands that were on tour. They wanted them to, eventually know that Scout Bar had the best lights, the best equipment, built-in crowd. That place was always sold out for years, like a decade or more. It was just
always hitting local bands up to be the openers.
Always having the local guys, and that's to me what feeds your business. Because going back to the point that you said, where you're the customer and you're bringing out, it's like this is Earl Shred's show. And we need a table for 250, right? Yeah. Me and my people are about to show up and eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like Scout is always done that. I haven't really messed with them, and I haven't talked to Bone in a long time.
They're still that way. I'd love to.
And that's there. Forever away. That's like so far away. It's like almost a different market, but I feel like there should be more venues like that, right?
Absolutely.
Northside doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, a lot of the venues I play at, too, they don't understand, because I don't play acoustic shows, so I always play with my band, because I'm a rock blues band. They just don't realize, like, they treat me the same way as dudes that are just playing the acoustic guitar with one speaker.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm killing myself, like...
Show up 2 hours early.
We rehearse once every week, because I feel like if you're going to be in a band, you should rehearse. So it's like, and then I'm like, I work with the guys that I work with, and then, okay, you got the drums, the bass, so now I need subwoofers, and obviously I need two mains.
Yeah.
Where if you play acoustic show, you can just have a speaker. But I can't just sit here and whine in Houston. It's just I gotta leave, and I'm really trying to get Dallas, Austin, and San Antonio.
Yeah,
I'm really trying to get out there.
I feel like if I was in that type of position, the one place that I would go, I think whether I was in a country band or a rock band or a fucking rapper or a comedian, I would go to Austin. I just feel like, and I know that that's like, maybe all the people aren't the greatest people there, right? And you got to deal with a lot of bullshit right now. But I feel like for art and music and that whole community, they have something going on, and they have had it for a long time. But I feel like it's been like a little bit revitalized. I guess the Joe Rogan era and shit, right? Like where all those people come. But it's definitely a scene. That's where I would want to be.
Livable.
Yeah,
that's what it's fucked.
But it's inclusive of everything, like what you're saying. They're very
but I can't
open to anything.
afford $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment,
right?
And that's because I've looked at I'd moved to Austin immediately.
Yeah,
if it was like wasn't such a risk. But how can I go to? I guess I mean, I'm just making excuses. It is expensive, but it could be done if you really wanted to.
Yeah, and everything's a risk, man. You just gotta say fuck it, and especially with your podcast, bro. Like, I mean, it's the mecca. Everybody runs through there. Like I said, comedians, musicians. All types of musicians.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
you never know who you're gonna meet up with or see or.
Yeah, people are always going there, and that's like it's like, I fucking hate to say it, but it's like trending. It's like fucking cool. It's like the cool shit to put on fucking Instagram and social media and shit. Like, I'm in Austin,
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to go to Austin. Let's go live under the bridge.
Let's be weird.
Don't make me the fucking reason you're leaving H-Town, man. Fuck.
He was already talking about it. I told him, I said, I'm not moving to Austin. That's exactly what I said to him.
Yeah. I was thinking like,
so I got
a lot of friends that live in Austin.
And, thinking Russia. I want to go to Russia or something. Like,
there's nothing wrong with Austin.
Or India.
It's
or
cool
China.
I'd rather live in like Canyon Lake. So.
I want to be the people's musician.
Oh my gosh.
It's not my music, it's our music. Oh, man. Well, I guess we could wrap it up, man. It's been a good one. How long are we at? What's our record, honey? Are we on over an hour?
Yeah, like hour 15.
Damn.
That's not bad.
That's good. Yeah, I don't. That's the sweet spot. I don't think I can do the 3-hour ones anymore.
Man.
Yeah, that's gnarly. Just about what you said about on the back end, like having to edit all that bullshit and upload it. Like, that's crazy.
Because when I started, I was a dumbass again. I was like, let's just chill and turn the mics on.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this flowed really well, but I'm used to, like, the podcast that I'm a part of, we're like fucking 10 minutes or less.
The radio is kind of like
yeah, I mean, for the longest time, I have a little bit more freedom now that I'm doing like the independent radio shit, but for so many years, I mean, I was talking like 8 seconds or less. You know, it's like fucking, you got to get everything in like fucking over a 7-second intro and shit, right? Like,
I'm way too stoned to live in that world.
Yeah.
That's why I can never do it, bro, because it takes me 8 seconds just to go, and...
Yes, sometimes I'm like, wake up, buddy.
Come on, let's get.
But it's weird because I feel like people's retention spans, you know, that's taught me. I did that for a long time on the radio, and I feel like I can see on the back end of my like socials and the analytics and shit that most people, the average watch time is like fucking 9 to 13 seconds. You know, people just, you're on your phone.
Yeah, and we're so used to this now.
Yeah,
100%. But there's a good majority or minority that do the full, that are along with you for the full time. And I've found that those pay off tenfold over the 10-second or less views.
Yeah.
I would say, like, if I'm, say, scrolling through TikTok, depending on the day, like, I give it 5 seconds. If it doesn't catch my interest, I'm out. But like, it's nothing for me to sit and listen to Joe Rogan for 3.5 hours.
My core group of, like, you know, 50 people that listen to the whole podcast do tenfold for me than what any video I've got over 1 million views has done. Like,
that's so crazy, man. I wish I had a fucking video and I could say that.
I have multiples, but that's why I've learned not to even chase it, though, because it's like that none of them have done what, like, the 20 hardcore of my, like, hardcore, like, they'll bring up, like, shit that I said at the end.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I guess I'll learn that the hard way.
Plus the videos you think that are going to go viral never do, and then the dumb ones.
Exactly.
I noticed that kind of shit too, like shit that I spend forever on and I think is so dope, like fucking fizzles and like the shit that I don't think about and I just fucking throw up there. It's like, what the fuck?
Dude, that's why this style of podcast, I can get so many views. That's like, clips with like over 500,000 views on like 60-second podcast clips. It lends itself because I could just I'll just cut 20 minutes up, edit out all the silence to where it's quicker pace, and then it's all 60-second clips.
And I'll put them out of order so it looks like we're talking about something different.
And like
the one of me, like,
those are the most viral one. Yeah, when I clip people, I'll put them like out of context or like I'll make it seem like completely random or something. Like I definitely clipped her out of context doing SC Kyle.
Oh shit.
And then it's like him talking about Hitler, and then it's me doing like a little, you know.
Fuck, dude.
I'm not gonna do it because you're gonna clip it again. But
I was gonna before we ended, I was gonna tell you earlier. That's why I always would love to be on the radio, and I'm glad I can do this because I never knew I would be able to work for a radio station or corporation for the shit I say. Dude.
Right.
Like, I have strikes. YouTube will barely let this podcast on YouTube.
Really?
I have episodes that are still banned.
We got banned from TikTok multiple times.
They don't just ask you to make it like age restricted or something?
Oh no! If you say whatever's in season,
right?
Like the 2020 virus.
I'm not going to get into anything. So, but the podcast that they came after me bad for, I had a dude that come on, and this was like right after COVID vaccine release, maybe 6 months, and it was before what we know now. I'm not going to say what we know now, but take it what that means. Came on and literally just I was like. He was like, can I talk about what happened to me after that?
Like his
after
personal
I got
story.
The medical procedure that they were giving. And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, we won't, no conspiracy theory, no like, it makes your brain, I was like,
yeah,
we'll just talk about what's happened to you. He came on, was hospitalized, blah, 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 sad. YouTube came after that one hard. Like, sent me emails, happens again.
Had the restriction on it.
Your account's getting deleted. Then delete the episode. And that was on all. Now, though, you can say that and they won't. That was what was in season.
Right.
The war in the Europe for 4 months, that was the one.
Right. Now that one guy going to jail all the time.
Oh, yeah. You're on a long-term list for that, and that I'm on. Absolutely.
The guy racking up all the indictments.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a stitch on TikTok today. I wish I got more views, but it was like a news reporter. He was like, Kamala says she may have to step in as president. And I stitched it, and I was like, oh, I forgot that she was there. I was like, I completely forgot. I was like, deep down, we all knew it was going to happen. We just forgot.
Just kind of forgot.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened.
I know. It's kind of been a long run.
I'm proud of him.
I know. I am too, honestly. Like, yeah, everybody give him a round of applause.
Dude,
could have been worse.
Could have been worse.
That shit, when he went to Maui, that was...
Oh. But yes,
he was
I have to...
talking about his Corvette getting burned.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, dude, read the room, brother.
Read the room.
But yes, I have to restrict him sometimes. Like, he could never work for a corporation, and sometimes I have to reel him back in.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do these alone,
Whew.
and I had to start doing them, putting them only on Patreon.
Some of the stuff he says, I'm like, nope, not today.
That's good. At least you have Sydney to keep you on the straight and narrow.
Sometimes.
All right, well, it was a sick podcast.
Well, fucking Earl Shreds and Sydney Shreds, thank y'all for inviting me.
Yeah, it was great.
I appreciate the hospitality. It was super cool, man.
Check out Zakk United on all social medias. What was the radio station again, one more time?
K-Star, 99.7.
Y'all check
Download the free K-Star Country app. Check
Heck
my shit out 2 to 7.
Yeah.
For sure. What time is do you do a daily show?
Yeah,
or?
2 to 7, Monday through Friday. And then on Saturday nights, I do a Texas show. It's all Texas music, only Texas music, Texas country artists, independent artists, unsigned artists. We do that 10 o'clock Sundays Texas show. But it's all on K-Star, which is out of Montgomery. And we have a free app. Download it, the free K-Star Country app.
Awesome.
In the App Store.
Yeah, we'll have to
Check out earlshreds.com. Coming to open mic tomorrow. And I'm opening up for Slade Coulter at Dee's Irish Tavern.
Really?
On Saturday.
On Saturday.
I fucking love that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that this weekend?
This
Saturday.
weekend, Saturday
Bullshit.
I'm opening up for him.
Dude.
Come on. You want to come? We got some tickets.
I got tickets right now with your name on them.
Yeah,
dude.
we'll get you some tickets.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I got
go.
tickets. They didn't want me to hustle tickets, so please hit me up if you want tickets for the show. And Sunday, I'll be in Alvin for Battle of the Bands. Thank you guys for everyone that voted for me. Y'all are fucking sick. I love you guys, and we're gonna kill that 15-minute slot.
Hell yeah.
I'm
That's all
gonna
you need.
puke on the crowd or do something insane.
Oh no, you'll get kicked out.
Yeah.
All right, I love
Full
you guys.
circle.
Oh, let me turn the live stream on.
Rock on and peace out.
Sick. My ears just now starting to hurt from this headphones. They were fucking.
I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. If you want to check out more podcast videos, studio footage, live footage, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and make sure you're subscribed to YouTube Earl Shreds, YouTube Shred Clips, and YouTube Shred Shed Podcast for full podcast video episodes. And be sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you got. Love you guys so much. Please hit the subscribe button.